It still feels very new.
Yes, we're trying to keep it new, I think, just as much as possible, because
Yeah.
it's been 9 months, I think. It's been
Right.
9 months, so yeah, there's not many extras in here that we had to put in. We've maybe put in the microwave, but actually this is how it is. We've got a fridge freezer.
You have got everything.
That's the double fridge there, and then a freezer over there.
Right.
So we've added those in.
And you've got obviously a hob and an oven and the
microwave. Yeah, convection oven. Yeah.
And are you enjoying it?
Yes, very much so. It's brilliant. It's brilliant because it's like in-out living here, and it's a really good kitchen area. And underway, you're not going to fall over, or because you're quite safe in that contained area.
And you had Christmas here as well, out on the deck, I think.
Yes. How many did we have for Christmas? I think we had about 7 or 9 for Christmas, I think. Yeah, so yeah, we can fit quite a few on board if we need to. This is the owner's version, so we've got like one whole hull is the owner's bedroom area, and then we've got 2 other cabins down on the other side.
Okay.
Shall I take you down?
Yes, thank you. Oh wow. So you've got a proper bed.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. And does that hatch open at the top?
It does, yes. We've got a hatch there, hatch at the very back, even under bed storage and all down the sides. And then we have a shower right at the end with a washing machine at the back of the shower.
A washing machine.
Yes.
Oh, come on, show you the washing machine.
Shall I show you?
How does that fit in? I so wish I had one of those.
We keep this as for tools
Oh, wow.
as well, but yeah. There's quite a bit of storage there.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic, Steve. I want one of those. A washing machine.
I know, we love our washing machine, I must admit, we really do.
Because then when you're under sail, seriously, you can wash and just hang things up.
That's it.
And you don't need to go into the marina at all.
No, not at all. We are completely self-sufficient on here because we've got the water maker and we've got everything we need.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, very good.
Fantastic. And a separate shower.
Separate shower there.
Yeah, excellent.
Toilet.
The toilet's in here, presumably.
In here, yes.
Right. Oh wow, you can see this. There's sort of a printer area. So we've got an office as well. There we go.
Area.
Everything you need. Wow. Right, and it gets better because there's more the other side.
There is, yes.
And of course, Amelie lives the other side as well,
does,
doesn't she?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll take you and show you.
Good.
Yeah. So we've got 2 cabins down here.
Right.
This is the bigger one, and we tend to use this for guests.
Oh, okay. So this is similar
because
to
we've
yours.
we've got quite a lot of family, so we have had quite a few guests.
Yeah.
So,
So I believe your daughter came here with her boyfriend.
yes, that's
for
right.
Christmas.
Yeah, and they've been a couple of times. We've had all children on board with their partners, so that's 6 of them altogether. So that's
Okay.
including us. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they can sleep upstairs as well, I guess, then as well.
Yes, we've used the outside area as well as even made a sofa, the bed.
Yeah.
On the sofa.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
they've
then-
each got their own bathroom, shower rooms.
Right. So they can't complain, can they? Really? If they're
Not
not exactly roughing it
No.
here, are they?
So
Oh,
she
nice.
chose this room, and she chose it because she's got the
Oh yeah.
hatch that looks, and she can see all the fish there, so she loves that. Yeah, so I have seen some people actually feeding some sharks out of one of these, just when they've been in the Caribbean, I think it was. So
Amazing.
that would be quite amazing, wouldn't it? With the
So you're
sharks
only
coming
just,
up?
it's only just away from the water though here, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
What's it like to sail?
Obviously the principles are exactly the same.
Yeah.
You just have to put the sails up when you see the speed of the wind requires it.
Yeah.
You do get some feel, but not anywhere near as much as you do on a monohull. So we just sit at the helm, and because we're new to it, we're both sat at the helm normally, just discussing it all day, every day while we're out sailing.
Yeah.
What sails should we have up, and when should we bring them down? More to the point.
And you seem, I mean, you get great vision here, don't you? Even from back here through the windows. I mean, I've been on cats where you behind the bulkhead you don't really see. You've got to pop up over it.
Yeah.
Was that something that? I mean, what was your criteria for sailing wise for the cat? What were you looking at?
Yeah, that all-round vision, especially from the helm, we can see.
So you've got the
nice
fly
little-
bridge
yeah.
here.
So unfortunately, there's a bicycle in the way.
That's right.
Up here.
Yeah. because they don't all have the fly bridge, do you? They get so you get really nice.
So we've got the
vision
best
from
of
up here.
both worlds
Yeah.
because I can see most of the corners of the boat,
Yeah.
except obviously the back over there.
Yeah.
But also if there's people down there, I'm still involved in the conversation with
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Because that's what I've heard a lot of people say. They don't want the fly bridge because it removes you too much. But this, you're right. You
Because
can
you are
still
so
see,
close, you can see through to everybody. Everybody can still talk to you.
and you've got this sort of little extra bit of deck here. That
Yeah.
sort of sunbathing deck, is it?
It is, yeah. They call that the bikini lounge, but I don't look good in a bikini, so I call it the sky lounge. There's normally cushions across the whole of there.
Yeah.
And when you come in at anchor at night, it's the perfect place to sit and watch the sun go down.
Yeah. But because you've got the fly bridge here, presumably the boom's got to be higher, is it? Have you got a?
It is slightly higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll still bang your head on it if you walk out there, though.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. So obviously, catamaran, 2 engines, which I've always thought is a good thing. You've got the redundancy there, haven't you? You've got, you've got,
you've got the
a spare.
redundancy.
More
That's-
maintenance though.
Yeah, but more manoeuvrability as well.
Yeah.
Incredible
So how
manoeuvrability.
how'd you get through the hatches here? Is it?
I'll show you on this one.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, well you've got quite good room
Very
around
good
that, haven't you?
access.
That's
Been
amazing.
in there a few times. That's where all the battery bank is as well.
Yeah.
Your vertifeed electrics, all the
Yeah.
shore power systems,
Yeah,
and straight through to the sail drive down below.
that's amazing. What size house bank have you got then?
There's 750.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And there's 850 watts of solar up on there
Yeah,
to keep them topped up.
yeah,
And the engines are Volvo 50s.
yeah. Enough power with
Obviously, two
that?
of them. Definitely enough power.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been in major storms and we've realised that if we wanted to, we could just get straight out if we wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've
Superb.
cruised along at 11, 12 knots sometimes,
Yeah.
which we weren't expecting.
So yeah, and I mean obviously this is a great advantage as well for a cat, isn't it? Having somewhere to put your
Very easy to put down.
your
very easy to bring
tender.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, it fits on there really quite nicely. So as I say, I don't know much about catamarans, but the thing that people always talk about is this height of the bridge deck here, what you've got underneath, because if that's too shallow, you're going to get a lot of
the water
slapping.
into
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and if it's too high, then the boat's going to be just sitting too high in the water.
Yeah. So you're happy with the fact that this boat doesn't seem to do that, yeah, in heavy weather.
Yeah, we just went by what we were told by people who had sailed the same boats. They were very happy with it. We didn't have a lot to compare it to, obviously, this being our first boat, but it hasn't been a problem so far.
Yeah.
Definitely not a performance cat.
Yeah.
Performance cat obviously will have the narrower hulls, but also dagger boards, which we don't have.
Yeah.
We're not out to sail it very fast. We're just out to sail it to have fun
Yeah.
and to live on board for a long time. So that's one of the compromises you have to have.
Sure. So what does she draw?
1.2.
1.2. Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay.
So obviously the space continues on the decks here.
Yeah.
You walk two abreast down here.
Yeah. So some of the models, you're leaning against it or you're climbing around these.
Yeah.
That's another reason. Handrails all the way around.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
added
that's good.
these
Sorry.
just for the saying about adding bits for safety,
Yeah.
so we can get around the entire boat
Yeah.
without letting go. When we're outside, and we've obviously got the jack lines running, so we can keep on as well.
Yeah.
Taking those off for winter.
Yeah. And you've got fairly big area here with a trampoline.
Yep.
Obviously you need enough that if you're bashing
Yep.
into waves, it's
So
coming
the
through.
water can come up and
How
drain
does she
straight off.
sail? Is she sent to dig in? Because she's not. I mean, she's fairly beamy for a length, isn't she?
Yeah, we haven't really noticed it digging in at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got a lot of storage space up here because obviously there's a big gap in front of the salon there.
Yeah.
So that's the entire anchor locker in there.
Yeah.
And then in here, you'll have to excuse all the stuff that we keep in there.
Oh,
You can go right in the back. This is the generator.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the water maker system is on this side here.
Yeah. And your windlass on this side, is it?
That's right.
Yeah. What brought you then to think, okay, I'm going to come from Australia to Europe, buy a boat? I mean, it's a massive change. How? Just take me through how that came about.
We started watching YouTube, simple as that. We watched a few people doing this exact same adventure and thought, oh, we could do that in the future. So we decided to look into maybe in about 10 or 15 years time, that's what we were going to do. Debbie's always thought about doing this sort of thing before, just a little boat on the Whitsundays or something like that. Then we started watching people like the Vagabond and Cheeky Monkey who had similar boats, and we realised, yeah, we could do that. So we went down to a couple of boat shows. Went to the Gold Coast Boat Show, saw a similar sort of boat to this.
We saw this boat there,
We saw this actual model there, and started watching more and more YouTube videos. And then we thought, well, we don't really want to leave it that late because we're going to be too old to learn to sail because we've never sailed before. So we decided to go down to the Sydney Boat Show.
That was 6 weeks later.
6 weeks later, went down to the Sydney Boat
Our
Show
10-year plan.
and bought the boat because we decided that 10 years was too long, so we'd leave it for 5 years. And
there was a
they gave
2-year
us many
waiting list,
options
wasn't
to
there?
buy the boat
Yeah.
in the future. The only downside was because Amelie was still at school, and then she put her hand up and said, actually, I don't mind doing homeschooling. So that brought the adventure forward as soon as we could get the boat.
So really, Amelie, then it's all down to you. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how's the homeschooling going?
Yeah, really, really good. It's so much better than regular school for me. And I've definitely noticed like a lot of improvement from like grades and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So how do you do it? Your parents tell me they don't get involved. It's just
Yeah.
you.
So the school has a website called Blackboard, and that's where the teachers record their lessons and they upload it to the Blackboard. And then because of the time difference from Australia to wherever we are, like in Spain, I'll watch it the next day. And it's like a visual recording, so I can see that everything that they're putting up on their board, and they can put all like the math problems and then work it out on the board. And then I just watch it, the recording of it.
But
Daily.
Australia's so well set up for distant education, aren't they?
Yes, I mean
Yeah.
that's the thing, isn't it? And does this work for anyone from any country? Because the Australians do it quite a lot in the country because it's such a big country, don't they? A lot of people in the outback are doing it that way.
Yeah, they
Yes.
have similar systems around the world.
Yeah.
We have met a lot of liveaboards with
yeah.
children in education, haven't we?
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
In distant.
It's just that this is a little bit different because of her age as well, that it's a bit more hands-off for the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we would struggle to be learning that level again.
Yes. Yes.
What about your friends though? Because obviously part of learning and part of being at school is seeing your friends every day
Yeah.
and talking to them.
Yeah.
Do you miss that?
Yeah, I do miss the whole social aspect, but now with social media, it's really, really easy to keep in contact with them. And it's almost like I am seeing them even more now because we will send like photos of each other, just regular chatting online and stuff like that. So it is like on the weekends when you want to hang out with your friends, there's that. It's not so much of a problem, but it is like a lot different from at school. But then also I'm learning a lot better because I don't have all the distractions around me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
But you're on a boat in the
I know,
sunshine
yeah.
and you can swim and go and do stuff. I don't think I get
Yeah.
any work done at all.
You have had a friend come over as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
And hopefully that will happen again this
Yeah,
year. And,
yeah.
yeah.
So I've like my friends have said that they want to do after school. They want to come to the boat, and then like we can travel around or something like that. So yeah, it's just finding the time, and also it's pretty expensive. So
Yeah.
it's got to be like a long
From
period.
Australia.
Yeah.
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 So you went from 10 years to 5 years to now.
Yes.
So how's that working out?
Well, of course, we have no sailing experience at all. So
Yeah,
you did
the
a
hardest
couple of
thing
courses.
was making the initial purchase and saying, right, we're going to buy the boat. And that was fine. But then you realise you've got your house, your businesses and everything else, because obviously I was still working. So there was that was quite a bit of work, selling businesses to move on, setting up some sort of recurring income back in Australia through selling the businesses, and one of the houses and rental properties now provide a smaller income. But you don't really need that much money to live on a boat.
Yeah.
We did all the research on that, and that's worked out very well.
Yeah. But you did buy a boat remotely, the other side of the world.
Yes.
How did that work out? I mean, and the new boat thing. I mean, where did that come into the equation? New versus an older boat.
Because we were new to it ourselves, we wouldn't know how to fix, because we wouldn't know what we were looking at to fix.
We didn't know what we didn't know,
Exactly.
did we? So we thought.
So we have a
it's
very,
better.
very good broker in Australia who went through all the options list. Because when you're buying a boat like this, we didn't realise you don't even get an anchor. So if you've never
Right.
bought an anchor before, what anchor do you buy? he went through meticulously a huge Excel list of everything that was all the different options for the boat, and I think pretty much it's 100% spot on.
Where did the multi-hull versus monohull thing come in? Were monohulls off the table
Absolutely.
straight from the start?
They were.
You definitely wanted a catamaran.
Simply because we
Sorry.
knew that we're going to be living on this boat for the next 10, 15 years. So when you wander around a boat show and you're up and down the stairs of a monohull, and just like when you walked into the cabins there, you know, having the bed that you can walk around either side and things like that, the light, you know, it's just all about, it's our home on the water. And if you've never sailed before...
Yes, I think because we've never sailed before.
Yeah. I did a 2-week sailing course on a monohull, and don't get me wrong, the romanticism of heeling over and sailing at high speed was amazing. But when we did a bit of research, it turns out that when you're in the cruising life, about 5% of your time is out there sailing. The rest of the time it's, you know, at anchor, which is great on anchor. You know, we've got all the solar we need and things like that.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot more for your, you know, for the size of the boat.
Now, I also mentioned that you weren't self-sufficient. You've got your washing machine, your water maker, your everything. How long do you envisage being out there without coming in to moorings at all?
Well, we've done it a few times for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. But that's, you know,
We
come in
envisage, don't we? Like in the future, we think
in the
we'll
Caribbean,
make our way
in
back
the
to
South
Australia.
Pacific, we could be off for months on end.
Yeah.
So
You've got an onboard
That's
Jenny
the
as well,
idea.
have you?
Yes, we do.
Got a
Yeah.
generator.
Yeah.
But how often do you need that? I mean, you've got a lot of... I was up the mast the other day and I was looking at your roof. There's a lot of solar up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody says you can never have enough solar.
No, yeah.
And for most of the summertime, it charges the batteries perfectly.
Yeah.
But we have, if we haven't had to run the engine for any reason,
Yeah.
for anchoring or whatever, we have had to run the generator a couple of times,
Yeah.
just to keep them topped up 100%.
It's just that little extra
Yeah.
if we need it, isn't it? But we haven't really needed it very much, have we?
So, for example, the washing machine, we have to run the generator to use the washing machine, just to save the batteries. If we switch over to lithium, there's people who have done that, and then you're very rarely going to put your generator on at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't like to drop the batteries too low.
Yeah.
We like the thought of lithium, don't we, in the
We do.
future? But it is expensive, isn't it?
I was
It's
going to ask
expensive and
that.
it's dangerous as well. You've got to you've got to know what you're doing with those. People think you can slot them in and
Yeah.
We
and
just
it will
don't
work.
know
That's
enough
just not true.
at the moment.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they create fires you can't put out.
That's
so
right.
I wouldn't.
Wow.
I wouldn't take it lightly. Yeah.
No, we're quite happy with the setup we've
Yeah,
got, aren't we? We
absolutely.
feel like we've got it right. Maybe a tiny bit more solar,
Possibly.
maybe. But
Now we've bought a new microwave.
Yes, because you're electric and the induction hob and all that,
Yeah.
but you've got the power to be able to cope with that.
Yeah.
we wanted to
gas.
have gas as well, though,
Yeah,
so
yes.
we've got a
the
gas oven.
and the hob is gas.
Yeah.
We use the barbecue, obviously.
It just
quite a
gives
bit.
you those options, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't, you're not going to drain too much power off.
Yeah.
You've got
There's always a
options.
backup.
Yeah.
Backup. Yeah, we.
So we
did
ended
all
up with a
right.
boat
Yeah.
and 8 hours of training, and then pushed out into the Bay of Biscay.
There's just that one little minus thing about picking up the boat in La Rochelle is the very first thing we
The
had
very
to
first
do.
thing you have to do is cross the Bay of Biscay, and as newbies, you really
They're not the best. No,
you shouldn't do
initially.
it, to be honest.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
a few people get crew in to do it,
Yeah.
but we made it,
Yeah.
and we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've spent this whole last season, we left La Rochelle and went across to A Coruña in northern Spain. That was the hardest bit, 3 days across the Bay of Biscay, as I said. It was really bad. And then it got easier and easier coming down through Portugal. Went over to Morocco, went to Gibraltar, to the Balearics, and lived to tell the tale.
Because there's a lot to learn about sailing, just sailing, but there's also so many systems to learn as well on a
Yeah.
boat. So there is
Yeah.
a lot to take in. You're like on knowledge, like learning.
And how do you do that
overload.
with all of you as a crew? What's your jobs normally?
Well, I think we work pretty well, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some stresses, haven't we? Like with anchoring and things like that, and a storm. But
So Debbie ends up driving the boat most of the time,
Yeah.
and I do all the running around
Yeah.
and calling out the commands.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Amelie, Amelie does the same. Just
Well, with three,
yeah.
with this boat this size, I
Yeah.
can imagine three's helpful. Actually,
It's
isn't
great.
It?
When coming into a marina, it's
Yeah.
great having three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't
That's
it,
a
with
big
a cat
difference.
coming into a marina, because it's such a big
Yes.
piece of
you
machine.
And
also
this
to
is
get
our
into.
second med mooring, isn't it, in here? And,
Yeah.
and I think we've got like that much either side. of
Yeah.
the- you know,
And with the two
up
engines,
with
you
the
do have a
boats.
lot of control, so
Yeah.
you can just stop it and spin it around,
Yeah,
and move it backwards, forwards, wherever you want. So,
yeah. And do you do that bit, Debbie?
I
yeah, she
do.
does.
Well,
And I have
Yeah,
to
it
ask.
was very nervous.
Yeah.
I have
Right,
to ask
nervous
about
for
your
us.
arm because I know
Yes.
everyone's thinking like we are. What happened there?
Yes, only just ice skating, and apparently I'm
Right.
too old and not very good.
So it wasn't a boat injury.
It wasn't a boat injury, and luckily it's happened now in the winter when we're in a marina, so it doesn't. You
Yeah.
know, we're near a hospital. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
yeah, and
if
how
I'm-
does that work? Because you've had to actually go to hospital. I mean, you might have to
I
have
have.
surgery as
Yes,
well. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's remotely. Is that all sort of work for you?
It has,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Because this happened in
It happened in Vienna,
Vienna,
and the hospitals there are very, very efficient.
and then they've just taken over here. So the local hospital in Cartagena
Yeah.
is great, isn't it? So, yeah.
Now you mentioned you hadn't sailed before. What's taken you by surprise? What do you think? Oh my goodness, I didn't know that when you set off.
Oh, good question.
That's a very good question. I wasn't expecting the sea state in the Bay of Biscay. All I've really realised is that when you're sailing a catamaran, you can't feel it. You're just sailing by the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, you look at your wind speed. Okay, it's time to do this
Yeah.
with the sail. Obviously, when you're watching it up there for trimming, it's different. But yeah, you don't
So,
get
so
to
what are
feel any of
your
it.
systems for that then? I've never. Well, I have sailed cats, but on occasions my father had a cat for a while. That's what always strikes me. You've got that problem, haven't you? If you got the wind just gaining power downwind, and you don't feel it. You don't feel it on a monohull when you're going with the wind in that way.
yeah,
You can get caught out, but in a monohull you can round up and get the sail down. You can get caught out with one of these, can't you? What's your system of you
Reef
get
early.
overpowered?
Yeah.
Just got to be on it.
We're just
Oh,
always
good.
on it,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
everything gets reefed
If you're
early.
thinking about it,
yeah, it's
drop
too
it.
late.
It's
Yeah.
too
Well,
late.
yes, that's what they say, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's too late by then.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
And because we're new to it, we're always at the
We're
helm.
so
You know,
cautious.
Yeah.
A lot of people said they do all their navigation from inside, on an iPad or something like that.
Yeah.
There's always one of us at the helm, keeping an eye out on
Yeah.
everything all
Yeah.
the time. And we really enjoy that as well.
yeah,
Haven't got bored of it yet.
yeah.
Well, you sound like you've really taken to it. I have to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
for people who've never sailed
Yeah, yeah.
before, you're now, off, aren't you? You're doing
There's
it.
something incredibly freeing about being self-sufficient and getting rid of all your stuff that actually you don't actually need,
Yeah.
and a simpler life. It's really lovely.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're
only
actually
been-
thought to do it really, and
It's
that
not
we
even
are
been a
doing
year
it.
yet. I can never imagine going back to live in a house. Because here you just think, well, we'll go there today, and you just go.
So many adventures ahead, and the children are all enthusiastic about it as well.
Yeah.
To be part
That's
of
amazing.
it.
So,
Yeah,
so what
it's
is the plan?
brilliant.
You'll say, you're thinking 10, 15 years on this boat. Where are you going to go? You're going back to Oz?
We thought we'd have a couple of years in the Med, didn't we?
Yeah, we
So
thought it'd
that's
only be 2
changed to
years.
At least
so
four.
it's 4 or 5 years now in the Med. We've barely scratched the surface. We've been here, best part of the year. So we've now realised that, you can't really have a time scale as when you're going to finish. We have spoken to people who do, and they've missed so much. They just sail past
So
everything.
we want to do the arc
Yeah.
across the Atlantic.
So we'll
and
probably
go to
spend
the
4 or
Caribbean.
5 years here, possibly 3 or 4 years. We can't say for sure because we haven't been there yet in the Caribbean. And then maybe got the east coast of America. There's talk of that at the moment, isn't there? And then even the west coast, because I'd like to go up to Baja California. And suddenly that's added another few months, and then
The ultimate for us though is the South Pacific, isn't it? When we get to play.
really looking forward to the
Yeah, I was
Pacific
going to say
crossing.
that. You live
Really
on the
looking
edge of the
forward to
South Pacific, and
Yes.
you brought about the other side of the world, so you got to go all the way back there.
That's part of the adventure of it, isn't it? Yeah.
left the best till last.
Yeah.
And we are from England originally, but we've been 20, 25 years in Australia.
Yeah.
And, we thought, well, we've seen a lot of the Med, but
Yeah.
we haven't really. We've seen so much.
You see
No.
such a
Now-
different side from a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to Mallorca, and I was, dreading it because, 20 years ago when you went to Mallorca, it was just, hotels and Brits and brown sauce, and English breakfast. and the side of it we've seen
The
from a
West
boat
Coast.
has
Yeah.
been incredible.
Gorgeous.
One of the nicest places I've been in the world.
Yeah.
It really has been.
Yeah. Yeah. So you weren't tempted then to come out of La Rochelle and turn right and go to England and do a little bit, do a lap of
it's
England
too
on the way?
cold, isn't it? But it is tempting up in Norway and places like that, isn't
yeah.
it? It is tempting, but we just don't know what we don't know. Everybody
There is
said
no
to us,
way
get
we
into
could
the
have turned
med.
right, because there's no YouTube videos about that. Everybody turns left, they do what we've done. They end up going through the Straits of Gibraltar, so that's what we did.
The other thing about YouTube is that they do focus a lot on what it's like just living together. So I'm going to ask you what it's like, the three of you living together, because at a time when a lot of teenagers might be saying, the last thing I want to do is live with my parents, you really
Amelie's a very easy teenager, so this is why we've chosen Amelie, not the best.
But what's it like for you though?
Yeah, I think I am different from, like, I know some of my friends wouldn't be able to live with their parents, purely just with their parents, and yeah, you've kind of, I don't know, you can't constantly get into an argument about everything that you want to argue about. You kind of got to pick your battles. You can't argue about every little thing. You've got to let some things slide, and yeah, you need to remember that you need to work together, because you are on this boat and things could go wrong. So yeah, you've got to kind of.
There's not a lot of space, but you have to give each person their
Yeah.
own space, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say it's growing up quickly?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, I think it's more of like when you're going into different countries and you want to learn the language, you're growing up pretty quickly because you're trying to adjust to
You're
your
seeing so
surroundings.
much, aren't
yeah,
you? And
like
experiencing so
and meeting
much.
so many new people, and a lot of them aren't my age. So you're kind of growing up quickly in that aspect. But I think when I go back to Australia, it also set me apart from everyone else from finishing high school, because I'll have this experience, whereas not everyone else can have that, and I think that will set me apart as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you face your real fears with being on the boat as well as the highs. So you've got the real extremes. Like we have been in a storm and it was very scary. But there's so many highs as well, and you try and evaluate what you could have done better, and you're learning all the time. I don't know when you ever call yourself a sailor.
No, that's
just
right.
don't know
Well,
when
that's
you
one of the
go to
beauties of it, isn't it?
No,
That you
I'd agree
always
with
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it must keep you young as well, because
Yeah.
you're always learning and
Yeah.
Yeah.
People used to say to me, you're going to get so bored because you're giving up
As if
work.
you could
You're
ever
going to
get
work every
bored.
day, and now you're on a boat. What are you going to be doing all day? And I thought, so I loaded my Kindle with thousands of books.
Yeah.
And you have no time at all on a boat. There's always something to do. There's always something to learn.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, the question for you then, Amelie, what's been, if you like, what's been the highlight for you?
I think the highlight is being able to travel so much. When my parents first told me about the boat trip, I straight away said I want to come because I can travel for free, and like that's literally it. Because if I wasn't doing this now, then I'd want to do it when I'm older, and I'd have to be paying for all of it. Whereas now I can travel and see so many different cultures, and it can like shape me as a person for when I'm older. So yeah, that's what I really love about the
Don't you
boat.
also think one of the highlights was when you made it across the Bay of Biscay and you
Oh,
touched
yeah.
ground, when you
Yes.
got off the boat
Yeah.
onto that dock,
Yeah.
and we thought, oh my god,
Yeah,
we've done
that
it.
was it. Yeah, definitely. Because that was my first time ever properly sailing, and I thought, oh my goodness, is this sailing? Is this what it's going to be
that's
like?
Yeah.
And Dad told me, he's like, no, it's like it's all going to be calm, and we're not going to be sailing in rough weather. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But then, yeah, when
And we'd got two friends who'd also picked up their boats in La Rochelle, and they were ahead of us, and they were there waiting for us, and we were on such a high
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
Did you go into Akaruna?
we did,
Yeah, we
and
did as well.
all celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a good feeling, isn't it,
Yeah.
to be alive?
yeah.
I don't think it was a better ending than that.